Hey, HR friends, welcome back. We're in the 5-1 emotional 6.5 day sequence. We're going to talk about day five. Day five is right here in this white rectangle. Now, if you haven't been on a forecast with us before, we strongly recommend you check out the overview first. It helps you understand how these graphs are laid out and how we're talking about them and how to keep up with these 24-hour forecasts. All right, let's go. So this next 24 hours should be relatively similar to what we did in day four. And if you look at the graphs here at first person, third person, you can see we reset to zero on both accounts. And when we look at the combined here, that number four, what we look for, it happens a little bit in the beginning of the sequence and in the middle of the sequence. So what this means is at least our defensive design isn't being agitated. Does that mean the choices are easy and the people around us won't be frustrating? No, it is. It's just this won't add to the extra strain, the internal stress that makes us have a short fuse. Okay. That's what happens when this pattern elevates. And the good news is it's not so bad. And this rest of the sequence is not terrible. When we get into 6 and 6.5, we have a single emotional polarity flip that's going to happen here in first person. Otherwise, it's pretty obsolete here. That's going to change when we get into the next awareness. The 5-2 is definitely going to be a little bit more exciting. Now, let's move down here and talk about the testing sequence for day five. All right. So, again, same old story here. We're rolling around that four mark. It drops off a little bit in the upper left. Upper right, staying the same testing sequence. Lower left, a little bit jagged at the end here, jumps up a little bit, but overall, pretty steady. And the same thing for the right lower quadrant, maybe kicks up a little bit at the end. So this is again one of those days where you really need to be working on everything. You need to be trying to get along with all of your teammates, and you definitely need to be making some changes in your current routine to make sure that we're leaving this world, this interconnected experience, a better place for every future family that's born into it. That's what we're supposed to be doing. If we're not doing those things and we're out of balance with these governing frequencies, and these are the quadrants of the body, they're going to take damage, and these are the relationships that are connected to those quadrants. So if you're out of balance with these relationships, that's going to lead to imbalance in your health and experiences. That's just how that works. We're doing a little extra here because this is more of the same. All right, so now we're going to talk about alignments. That's what we do this 24-hour zoomed in. We have a live feed. That's the best way to check this stuff out is just to go to our live feed at healthreconnected.com. You hit play and a time bar comes up and shows you right where we are within this sequence. Now, these alignments, that's just when there are two tests in the same quadrant that are happening at the same time and it amplifies the effect. We're applying feedback system. So when these two frequencies combine, they just make it easier for you to feel it. That's all it does. Now, the purple ones are going to test to see how balanced our routines are, and the blue ones are going to test to see how well we're getting along with our teammates. Now, if it's teammates, this is what we have to do, no matter if it's the upper quadrants or the lower quadrants. That's just younger and older teammates. That's all that means. Male and female, doesn't matter. You need to master every relationship with all of the different teammates that we coexist with. This means you have to communicate with them, you have to coordinate with them, you have to help them alleviate stress, work through your stress with them, and you have to talk about and synchronize your activities so that you're going to be doing objective, meaning you're investing in strategies that are going to make this better for everyone at every level. That's what you do. Now, if you're doing that with the younger members, the older members of the team, when the time bar is going through these blue alignments, nothing to worry about. If you're not doing that, this is telling you the quadrants of your body that you're going to feel it. That's how that works. All right. So same thing when we look at these time alignments. All right. This is just how balanced our routines are. And it can't just be balanced at the individual and the family level. You have to think about, well, what if everyone lived the way I did? Would that work out? And if the answer is no, then you're going to have to change your smaller routine to make sure that it can be replicated by everyone at that larger level. That's how you balance. And you have to invest not only in your smaller routines, but also in the larger routine. Every day, every choice, you should be cross referencing. How does that affect my nation? How does that affect our world? That's how you do perfect and you don't take any damage and you feel positive things when these happen. Anything but that will require you to experience something a little less than optimal. The more unbalanced you are, the more you're going to feel it. That's just how that works. All right. So alignments, there's a few of them. Pay attention. If you start to hurt in those areas, just reference where we are within this, and that's going to be telling in itself. This is just to help you confirm, make this as simple as possible for you so you can commit to balancing with our teammates and balancing your routine with our teammates. All right. So let's move on here to the strongest frequencies and where they sit this time. Okay. So we're pretty balanced here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the left, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the right. Now, We've got nothing in the upper left quadrant first person. So what that means is if you get upper left quadrant pain, we know that it has to do with poor routine choices. Same thing here. If you get upper right quadrant pain, we know that this doesn't have anything to do with routines in this next 24-hour period of time. That has to do with not getting along with older members of the team. Now, in all the other quadrants, there's overlap. Okay. And in the quadrants, there's overlap. Well, what you want to do is you just want to document what you feel, and when you feel it, you can use our software and you can know what you need to focus on first. Now, I always say, don't overcomplicate it. Commit to your team, commit to a balanced routine. You don't have to worry about these graphs in the future. All right. Right. So here's the healing guide. This is something new that we've been doing. And what this does is it's letting you understand what frequencies are asking us to learn during the time that they're in control, when they're governing us. So this is the mental macro frequency. This one's going to sit here for the entire year. This is sitting on the 8-4, which is a world mother awareness. That's what you have to be working on from the space side and the time side, is what you want to be just thinking about those things every time you're making choice. Okay. Now, the next largest one is actually the smaller ring right here. This is the micro mental. This is a 7.5 day frequency. Okay. This one is the 6-8. It's testing family and world. So when you're making choices, how is it affecting families? How is it affecting the world? And if it's unbalanced, well, then you're going to experience problems in the areas that this is connected to on the tool. Okay. The next one is this one. This is a 6.5 day frequency. This is the 5-1 emotional set we're in right now. This is checking to see how your choices are going to affect individuals and how your choices are going to affect daughters or the immature members of the team. That's what that's asking of you. And the more unbalanced your choices are, well, the more biofeedback you're going to get that's unpleasant. Now, in the first 12 hours, the physical macro. So in this next 24-hour period, it's broken into two physical macros. The first one is the 5-5. This is going to see how balanced your individual choices are and how balanced your family choices are. Now we're going to talk about the second 12-hour macro in the physical. All right. This is a 7-4. This has to do with nation and mother. So how do your choices specifically affect the nation, and how do your choices specifically affect the mother? Now, when you think of mother, it's not just the mother you're born with. These are mature females. So let's just quick go over this so you know. Immature female, immature male, mature male, immature female. This is an immature feminine perspective. This is an immature masculine perspective. This is a mature masculine perspective. This is a mature feminine perspective. Okay, that's how easy that is. And we don't have to go over it because this is all the same stuff here. So this is a cool chart, and I'm taking some extra time here because what you want to do is you really want to be focusing on these things that it's asking you to think about. And what you're going to do is you're going to synchronize with it. And when you synchronize with it, it actually amplifies your body's ability to be healthy. It's going to put you in frequency. So I said this last time. You can work on all 64 things all the time, and you should. You should be trying as much as you can all the time, but you should also know what's in control because these governing frequencies, well, they can help a lot if you understand how to harness their power. Okay, that's what that's all about. Now, let's end this out. So here's how we're ending it. As always, we've got all the electromagnetics for the rest of 2024. No more mystery. We want you to be empowered so that this pattern doesn't manipulate you to accelerate aging and your states of disease. And most importantly, we want you to pass this objective so you can get out of this negative feedback loop and into a positive feedback loop. All right, that's it for this one. We'll talk to you in the next 24.